Hello, tell me if it's too bright. This is my first time with this ring light. It's like a mini ring light. Thanks for watching. If you're watching, it's a little late. It's almost 9. So that's my bedtime. But I had an interesting experience today I wanted to share with everyone, especially if you are in sales or if you make money selling your product or service. This is going to benefit you just listening to what I have to say tonight and some tidbits I can teach you. So I am always getting better at sales. I'm always working on how I can communicate more eloquently, how I can ask better questions, how I can pivot and navigate conversations. And today I was just kind of thrown a curveball, haven't been thrown before, and found myself getting triggered and had to stay calm and in control. And I'm gonna go ahead and put what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can pin that. I'm not really sure. But so anyways, when we're trying to make sales, when we're calling people, the whole point is to really go through the whole sales process. So it's building that rapport, establishing the rapport, and asking questions are the first steps. That's always what I strive to do. And it's so interesting because sometimes the thing is, when people get irritated, angry, or defensive, or just like give you a tone for calling them, or like, why are you calling me, or I'm not interested, or like just irrational anger or frustration, that's when people are triggered. And I know for women especially, it's already, for a lot of women, it's already tough to be, making those calls, to be put in, like, to try to sell. When you're first learning the process, it can feel weird. It can feel like you're imposing. It can feel like you're trying to, like, ask deep questions, or it could feel like, man, calling someone out on something, like, it can feel really hard to do. So for my ladies especially that struggle with this, I really want you to take this into consideration, because especially if you're a coach, you have to figure out how to sell your product, sell your service. You need to learn these tools to make a livelihood. If you're not selling to anyone, who are you helping? It's really important that you can enroll people into your ideas and your programs. So asking questions and then finding the need. So I had an experience where just asking the questions triggered someone, and immediately I felt like I was being lashed out at. So when that happens to you, I want you to totally remain calm. Try to leave the call on a positive note if possible, and just know that a lot of people have parts in conflict in their minds. So someone I work with, Brandon, he's a master at sales, a master caller, master at communication and language, and he's told me so many stories about how he would cold call all day and have someone like pick up the phone like, don't bother me, blah blah blah. Well, he'd call the same person back later that day and they would act like a totally different person. I'd be like, oh hey, how's it going? Like, just because he had lunch or something. So I think a lot of times we take things personally that we shouldn't take personally. It's not about us at all. If someone's projecting that kind of attitude or behavior onto you, it has nothing to do with you. It's all on them. Something is going on within them, and likely it's because they're not making calls. They're not reaching out to people. They're not taking action in their business. They're not taking the right action they want to take to make money. That's usually what it is. And I found I've been triggered before when people message me and they're just trying to sell me, and I can tell right away. And I have to check myself. I have to be like, why am I getting triggered? Where in my life am I not doing this? Or where am I judging? Because I'm like, well, there's a process. They're not following the process. Because we teach the sales process in our trainings. And then I check myself and I realize, well, there's no right or wrong. And if I'm getting triggered, that's because, like, what within me is getting upset by that, and why? And it's because of my own behavior. It's my own action. Everything around us is a mirror into ourselves. So if we're seeing the positive, if we're seeing the negative in something else, it's a reflection of what's happening on the inside. So this person lashed out at me, and so I had to stay calm. I started panicking, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? They're getting upset. I crossed a boundary for them, or they're getting triggered. And so I immediately just, kept asking questions. So that's what you do. You keep asking questions if someone's triggered. So you ask them, so how is that a problem? Or why do you think this, or why do you think that? And you can kind of just dive deeper and get curious of what's going on. So, and then honestly too, just state your intent. Say, hey, I'm just trying to help you. Or and one thing I didn't say is that I thought I was told later on was, so if that's how is it me selling, if I was trying to sell you, which I'm not, how is selling you a problem? So that's a really good line to say if someone is accusing you or getting upset. So how is that a problem for you? And use those words, use that language. How is that a problem for you specifically? Because at the end of the day, we're here to help people, and that's honestly what I do. I talk to people who have shown interest in NLP, or shown interest in growing their business, or shown interest in personal development or improving, and I get an answer from them. Are you interested in the training now? Are you interested in maybe coming later? And if they keep it open, well, then I say, okay, cool, and I mark it to follow up with them later on and see how they're doing later on and see if there's a need later on. But most people don't get upset when I check in and just say, hey, how's your business going? I always offer value when I can. I always offer referrals when it's a good fit. I always, go out of my way to help people and send them resources that they need. It's not all about selling. It's not all about making money. And if that's what you're doing, then people are going to pick up on it really quick. But tonight I'm talking about those times that people get triggered when you are coming with pure intent. So that's the thing, you have to be solid and grounded in knowing that you're coming out of it with pure ecology. You're just coming with the pure intentions. How can I serve this person today? In what capacity? Even if it's just listening, even if it's just being a good listener, if it's just answering a question, referring them to someone else, people will reach out to me and be like, I'm thinking of bodybuilding, can you answer some questions? And honestly, that's not my business anymore. I don't coach for, that goal. But I will take time out of my schedule to make sure someone is set up with a good coach, to make sure they're headed in the right direction, just because I care about people, and I'm just operating from love if I have the time for that. So if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments or in this replay. But long story short, people are going to test you. And when you're selling out of ecology, especially, you have to be super grounded in what you do and just knowing that I am operating with value, I am operating out of integrity, and just know that people that are getting annoyed with you or aggravated with you for calling them or texting them or checking up on them or like telling them about an offer or a coupon or something coming up, it's something within them that's getting triggered. It has nothing to do with you. So I could have taken this event because it triggered me. I was like kind of shaking near the end of the call just because I felt I was being attacked for trying to help someone. And I had to do some timeline therapy to let go of that trigger. And luckily, I let it go, and I went to a networking event, and I had an amazing time. So if you want to learn more about that, you can just message me. But essentially, I could have let this event and this circumstance ruin my night. I could have been like, oh my God, like this person's judging me, this person's trashing, they might go trash my reputation. I could have created all these stories and like been in a horrible mood, got home, binged on food and chocolate and Netflix, or I could use my tools and let it go and then continue on my goals and continue, you know what, I'm on a mission to serve people and help people, and that's my purpose and my passion, and I'm going to continue to do that no matter what. And I had some obstacles come up today, but at the end of the day, I'm working to help people, and I'm going to trigger people along the way. So just know that when you're working to, make a difference, especially working with human behavior, you're going to trigger people, and don't let it affect you. Just ask questions. So how is that a problem for you? So what is this bringing up for you right now? How can I help you through this emotion? Because emotions aren't bad things. Triggers aren't bad things. They're just teachers. They're teaching us a lesson. So let me know what questions you have about this, and I'm more than happy to answer them. But I had to share this event because it's really important, and when you are serving people and you're coming from a place of integrity and you're having to sell what you have to offer, people are going to be triggered, and then just your success is going to trigger people sometimes. So you have to let that go and just know that there's always going to be people that need to work on things, and it has nothing to do with you. And just move on. Just move on and know your boundaries, know your worth. And if someone is giving you negativity, they don't need to be in your sphere. They don't need to be in your realm. But just come with that place of humility and wanting to serve and help. Do what you can. And if you can't help that person, then you can't help that person if they're not ready to receive. They have to be ready to receive some guidance, to receive what you're saying. And that's why we teach how to build rapport, how to do the 5-step sales process, and how to deal and navigate with these kind of objections or these kinds of situations and scenarios. So I got excellent feedback from my coaches and bosses, Deb and Brandon, after that happened. And I also learned, what to do a little bit better next time, and also what I did really well. So share your stories with me too. If you had a similar thing happen to you where you trigger someone by, reaching out to help them or see how maybe they could be a fit for your product or service. And let's share these challenges with each other, because the more we talk about it and the more we talk about the ways we're growing and developing and improving our skill set, the better we feel when we conquer those things, and then the less shame or guilt we may feel when we do make mistakes and when we are in those learning processes. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you found some value, and if so, tag or share with a friend, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.